Quality 2 Mike November, Lisbon Center. Expect Flats 2A, runway 02. Expect Flats 2A, runway 02, Quality 2 Mike November. Ryanair 299 Charlie, contact Faro approach 119.405.
Contact Faro approach 119.405. Ryanair 299 Charlie.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, Luva 2A, runway 02. Report ready for descent.
Can you hear me?
Air Portugal 21 Golf. Descent
Yeah.
level 250.
What about the FY? This is there.
Air Portugal 21 Golf.
A321Neo from FSLabs. Hello, Andrew, Sergio. Yeah, I was flying in part when I have a new computer. When I had the old computer, I had more audience than now, so that's why I was saying I was about to give up. Actually, I'm not looking for a big audience because it's a small channel, but flying for nothing, I might as well just do it alone. So we're coming up on the approach for Lisbon. So we see Love Up waypoint, and we're going to follow this track. There's a point for this half moon track, so it's a holding pattern. So we have a hold here, and there's another one in Gansu, another one in Luxet. So these are alternatives for the approach where planes can fly from right to left at 7,000 feet, and there's another approach with the other way around at 8,000 feet. I prefer AI. I'm using Beyond ATC AI, so what you're hearing is AI generated. It gives me some liberty to fly because sometimes, most of the times, because of schedule. So sometimes I fly at odd hours and Flightsim controllers aren't available. So AI is always available. So we're coming up on Love Up, and I'm supposed to get my clearance, but something's fishy. Alright, descent to flight level 250. Here we go. Alright. I was talking with you guys and I missed the radio call. But I confirm runway 02 via love up 2 Alpha, which is this approach that we're following here. So I was saying this half moon serves the purpose of traffic separation. What we will do is we're going to go all the way to inlib, and then we're going to ask ATC to go to halt it, so that we don't have to do the other half moon, the rest of the half moon, because it will take us a lot of time. Ideally, I could have gone from Gansu directly to inlib, but that's asking too much from ATC because it has to make traffic separation. So what are we trying to do is just cut off half of this half moon for the approach. Usually planes go direct to save time. Yeah, would have been nice if I could actually be on a real deal and you guys were watching and thinking, it's just Flightsim, and there I am landing and Philippe was filming. That would be cool. One can dream. So right now we're trying to get to the ideal performance, which is that little green dot down there, and it's coming awfully close to our speed limit. So what we're going to do is going to extend the speed brakes. Let's go full speed brakes. That's going to help us descend faster. If this was analogous to real life... Alright, what did he say? I need to pay attention. 070, right, I'm cleared to flight level 070. Can you guys hear the ATC? Okay? Is it too low? You can't hear the ATC, or is it too low? Oh, alright, stand by. Let me raise the ATC volume.
Air Portugal 435, you were assigned flight level 350.
What about now?
Flight level 339er. Climb to flight level 350.
Is it better?
Wilco, climb to flight level 350, Air Portugal 435.
Can you guys hear ATC better now?
Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima, contact Lisbon arrival 125.13.
Contact Lisbon arrival 125.13, Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima.
I don't want it to be too loud.
Air Portugal 15 Charlie Victor, Lisbon Center, expect VATS 2A.
Alright, I reduced my voice a little bit so that you can hear ATC.
Runway 02, Air Portugal 15 Charlie Victor.
Ryanair 3 Uniform Mike, contact Sevilla Center 118.275, bye-bye.
Alright, so we're going to have the approach checklist. This is a fairly new plane. Alright, let's take out our speed brakes, no longer needed.
Lisbon Center, Tomjet 4547, flight level 380.
Yeah, it's this plane is very impressive.
Radar contact.
We even have failures and MELs, so we have some fun stuff, really in depth simulation.
Center on 125.1, Ryanair 31 Yankee Alpha.
I understand it can be boring to watch someone else flying. It's much more fun to actually fly. Here's a cool.
Lisbon Center, Royal Air Maroc 982, flight level 340.
This is a fun view.
Royal Air Maroc 982, Lisbon Center, identified.
Alright, so let's see if I don't bork this approach any further. Trying to go as fast as I can so we don't get too bored.
Xavier 5951, contact Lisbon, arrival 125.13.
I've been flying for a bit more than 1 hour. I just jumped ahead.
Contact Lisbon, arrival 125.13, Transavia 5951.
Whenever you ask an Airbus pilot... Oh, hold on, I need to request METAR, standby.
Lisbon Center, Europa 76 Tango Mike, good afternoon, descending via Pultua, flight level 251. Europa 76 Tango Mike, Lisbon Center, radar contact.
So we have QNH 1019. Temperature is 28. And now let's see, it's 320 at 414. 320 at 14. And we got full, I'm gonna make a config 3, radio altimeter 200 feet as per chart. Let's turn on landing flaps 3. Let's go through our landing performance. Yeah, almost. I think I would at least not die in the simulator. So we got a V approach of 133 knots. So let's insert this. 133 config 3. Yeah, performance has been inserted. Let's just confirm something here. Yeah, this plane is bugged, so it's not loading cargo for some reason, but whatever. So let's just see. Good auto seatbelt minimum, auto brake. All right, let's go for auto brake. So this will be a dry runway. Auto brake medium, and that's it. We'll go through the checklist in a moment. Let's go for the charts. So after this approach, we're gonna make an ILS to runway 02. So our minimums are 200 feet, that's already inserted. We need to go through PSEX at 4,000 feet. And then after that, we'll start a normal glide
EZ84 Bravo Zulu,
to
Lisbon, arrival 125.13.
through NetVio and then establish on the ILS.
125.13, EZ8 for Bravo Zulu.
So we'll just we'll make that, try to survive. So right now we need to the Lisbon airport is somewhere over there. There it is. So we need to go all the way to Setúbal, then make a left-hand turn, and then start our little half moon. So this is the boring bit before the action. So let's see the constraints. So we got some airspeed constraints, 230 knots, 220, and then all the way through the half moon, flight level 070220 knots. Once we get to inlib, we'll try to get our direct to ultit. So basically, we're going to cut away a few miles direct to ultit. There it is. So I'll make a direct to ultit. So we need to press there.
Air Portugal 15 Charlie Victor. That's 2A.
And then ultit. But we need to be clearance. We need to be clear to do that, so we can't just do that on a whim.
2A, runway 02 ready for descent, Air Portugal 15 Charlie Victor.
So it's not like playing golf, Andrew.
Air Portugal 15 Charlie Victor. Descent to flight level 070.
Andrew is
descent to flight level 070.
all-in-one guy.
Portugal 15 Charlie Victor.
We can't make a hole-in-one here. We need to follow the flight plan. Once we get to ultit, then we'll get the clearance for P6 and then ILS approach. We'll run the checklist first for the approach and then for landing checklist. Landing checklist on the Airbus is pretty simple. Is ECAM status green, no blue, or ECAM status blue. Sorry, ECAM status no blue. So pretty simple.
Quality 2 Mike November.
Brussels. Brussels. No, not today. You know, I will buy the Brussels airport just to fly there and say Brussels. Brussels. Brussels.
Lisbon Center, Ryanair 5 Echo Delta. Good afternoon. Flight level 380. Ryanair 5 Echo Delta, Lisbon Center, radar contact.
So these are our beautiful beaches. I used to go here when I was a kid. These beaches called Caparica. I also came here to Oh, you did Azores Airlines. I didn't fly any national VA except for Air Luxor Virtual when it was in the early days, because I knew the guys there. But I always flew for international VAs. The best time I had was flying for TNT Virtual, TNT Cargo. It was pretty cool because I did long flights at night, and the only slots I had were for the 747 and the 757. Alright, I'll let my co-pilot reply here.
Contact Lisbon arrival 125.13, Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Alright, let's contact.
Lisbon arrival, Air Portugal 21 Golf. Flight level 09 or 7 with the numbers.
Air Portugal 21 Golf Lisbon arrival. Good afternoon. QNH 1019. I expect the ILS runway 02 with the P6 transition.
Continue expecting ILS 02 with the P6 transition, Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Negative QNH 1019.
Oh, forgot. QNH 1019 or Air Portugal 21 Golf. Forgot the QNH. And Troya is on the other side. Stand by. Troya is over there. That's Arrábida, Serra da Arrábida, and that's beautiful Cap Especial. Now let's do a left-hand turn here in Hortug. And then after passing Zakra, when we're halfway, I'm going to call in to request a direct to fix to Ultit. Let's see if it gives it to me. We're stable on flight level 070 for now. I do, Jose. I have a HOTAS system, hands-on throttle and stick for combat flight simulation, but I also have an Airbus kit just to fly the A320, A321, and A350. Alright, let's prepare our direct to halt it. Let's see if we are given that after we pass Zakra. There's an aircraft inbound here. We can barely see it. There it is, this little diamond here. So maybe it will not give it to me, but we'll try. Because it needs to maintain separation. Yeah, it's school English. Nothing fancy. Nothing posh. Alright, let's try to call in the direct to fix. Lisbon approach here, Portugal, 21 Golf, request direct to fix.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, Roger, stay fixed name.
Air Portugal 21 Golf requests Ultit. Let's see if it accepts it.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, I didn't get the fixed name, say again.
It's in there. I'm gonna say it digitally.
Request direct to Ultit. Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, confirm direct to Ultit.
Affirmative, direct to Ultit. Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, Roger, cleared direct to Ultit.
Alright. Let's go. Nah, no need for emergency, it's just procedure. This is something...
Portugal 21 Golf, Roger, cleared direct to Ultit.
Direct to Ultit, Air Portugal 216 Golf. The 6 is... Alright.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, descend to 3,000 feet, QNH 1019.
3,000 feet, QNH 1019, Air Portugal 216. Not 216, 21 Golf.
Negative, QNH 1019.
That's what I said. QNH 1019, Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima, 2 miles from PSX, turn left, heading 355, maintain 3,000 feet until established on the final approach course, cleared ILS runway 02.
Alright, there's another aircraft.
Turn left, heading 355 at 3,000 feet until established, cleared ILS runway 02, Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima.
It's gonna be a problem here if this guy isn't cleared. We'll see. Yeah, we got low fuel warning. Why? Hold on. It's not supposed to have such low fuel. Something fishy in the fuel loading. So we're going to prep our approach. So we're going to conduct the checklist in a moment. As soon as we clear the transition altitude. So we're going to have to make a left-hand turn, then a right-hand turn. Oh, what's going on here?
Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105, bye-bye.
Contact Tower 118.105 Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima.
Should expedite your descent here. Some reason
Air
you're
Portugal
not.
21 Golf, cleared direct PSX, cross PSX at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 02.
Clear for the P6 above 3,000 feet. Clear for ILS 02 Air Portugal 21 Golf. Alright, starting our little turn here. Let's reduce speed a little more. Whoop, I don't want to hold. I don't want to hold. Don't hold, don't hold. There you go. Crisis averted. Alright. QNH 1019er. Now let's go for the approach checklist. Para reference 1019 cross-checked. Seat belts are on. Are they? Yeah, they're on. Minimum at 200 feet set. Auto brake as required. Medium dry. Engine mode selected as required. Normal. Approach checklist complete. Alright. Let's go for the auto settings for the approach. Approach is on, landing system is armed.
Quality 2 Mike November, flight level 098, we have Papa.
There's a runway right there.
Quality 2 Mike November, Lisbon arrival, QNH
Flaps 1, speed checks, flaps 1.
Runway 02 with the PSX transition. QNH 1019, expect the ILS runway 02 with the PSX transition, quality 2 Mike November. Air Portugal 21 Golf, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105.
Let me talk. Tower 118.105, Air Portugal 21 Golf. Lisbon Tower, good evening, Air Portugal 21 Golf on the established ILS runway 02 to land.
2,500.
High performance. Yes, applicant secure for land.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, Lisbon Tower, continue.
Continue, Air Portugal 21621 Golf. So, keep messing with this number 6. Alright, let's go flaps 2. And let's go gear down. There's a plane landing there, so I need to reduce my speed as best as I can, otherwise we'll overshoot it. Flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3, cabin is ready. Right, landing checklist. ECAM memo, landing no blue, landing no blue. Landing checklist complete.
Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima, exit right at Uniform 5.
Yeah, clear. I'm still not clear to land.
Exit right at Uniform 5 Air Portugal 83 Romeo Lima.
Got a company aircraft still on the runway. We can barely see it. 1000 check. warning. Still not clear to land, got a crosswind. That's why I'm still on autopilot.
Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Ah.
20 at 14. Runway 02 clear to land.
Clear to land 02 at Portugal 21 Golf. 400 check.
100 above. 100 above. 200 minimum.
Continue.
100.
Alpine 9-2 X-ray uniform. Ready to go. Runway 02.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retire.
Ooh,
Alpine 92 X-ray uniform. Hold short of 02.
auto brakes.
Wilco, hold short of 02 for traffic. Alpine 9-2 X-ray
Reverse.
uniform.
Alpine 92 X-ray uniform. Runway 02. Line up and wait.
Idle. Auto brakes off.
Line up and wait. Runway 02. Alpine 9-2 X-ray uniform.
Air Portugal 21 Golf. Exit right at Uniform 5.
Uniform 5 Air Portugal 21 Golf. So this is not Uniform 5. Let's turn on our APU here. So Uniform 5 is that one, but we will leave on hotel because it's the high-speed exit. So let's clean our airplane, flaps up, speed brakes in. Uniform 4.
Alpine 92 X-ray uniform. Lisbon Tower. Wind 320 at 14. Runway 02. Cleared for takeoff.
So we are assigned at ramp 414.
Runway 02, cleared for takeoff. Alpine 9-2 X-ray uniform.
Air
Start
Portugal
it.
21 Golf. Contact ground 121.755.
121.755 for Air Portugal 21 Golf. Let's tune in. 121.755. Ground Air Portugal 21 Golf with you.
Lisbon ground Air Portugal 21 Golf, go ahead.
Let's go to gate 145.
Air Portugal 5 Charlie Hotel, ready to taxi to the active. Air Portugal 5 Charlie Hotel, runway 02 taxi via Lima 1 a Lima 2, Mike 4 a Delta, and November 2. Runway 02 taxi via Lima 1 a Lima 2, Mike 4 a Delta, November 2, Air Portugal 5 Charlie Hotel.
I won't land on anybody else's park,
Soleil 15 Uniform Papa, request taxi.
but doing this solo is much harder.
France Soleil 15 Uniform Papa, runway 02 taxi via Zulu 2 in November 3 a Delta in November 2. Runway 02 taxi via Zulu 2 in November 3 a Delta, November 2 is France Soleil 15 Uniform Papa. Boeing 1982, ramp 205, request pushback and engine start.
Air Portugal 21 Golf requests gate 104.
Air Portugal 5 Charlie Hotel, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105.
Come on, give me my gate.
Contact Tower 118.105 Air Portugal 5 Charlie Hotel. Air Portugal 21 Golf, gate 10 does not exist at this airport.
Not 10.
Please select another.
Request gate 104.
Air Portugal 21 Golf, unfortunately gate 104 isn't available at this airport.
Ah,
Please choose another.
come on. Ramp 0.
Request ramp 104. Air Portugal 21 Golf.
Ramp 104. Maybe that's
Air
it.
Portugal 21 Golf, ramp 10 for taxi via Alpha 3 a Golf 1 a Tango, Mike 1 Alpha 1.
Nah, I'll just use Alpha. Yeah, I'll just use Alpha. Sorry.
Ramp 104 via Alpha 3, Golf 1, Tango, Mike 1, Alpha 1.
It's telling
Air
me to
Portugal
go through
21
here and then turn here, but it's straight ahead.
France LA 15 Uniform
It's just
Papa,
being funny.
contact Lisbon Tower 118.105. Have a good evening.
Alright, let's we
Over to Tower
finished
118.105,
cleaning
France
up
LA
the
15
aircraft.
Uniform Papa.
So it's the final stand actually. So we got 108,
Rolling 1982, Lisbon ground, pushback approved. Face west.
106, 105, 104, that's the one.
Rolling 1982.
I wonder if Jenny is working on this ramp. Let's turn in. So we got our APIS. Sergio. Alright, waiting for the APIS to turn on for us. Come on. Wake up. Come on. Yeah, the APIS isn't cooperating today. We'll just make our eyeball, Mark 1 eyeball approach. I wonder why it's not turning on.
1982, request taxi.
Alright, that's close enough, I'd say. Let's look
Rolling
outside.
1982, runway 02 taxi via Zulu 2 in November 3 a Delta in November 2.
Yeah, we're just about right.
Tram 102 taxi via
Yeah,
Zulu
it's
2, November 3
don't know why
Delta,
it's not
November
working.
2, rolling
Probably
192.
a malfunction. I need to check later, but it's not relevant. It's not even important. So parking brake set. We got our APU running, so let's turn off engine 1 and engine 2. We had our we have some hot, very hot brakes. So we have our brake fan on. All right, let's request deboarding.
Rolling 1982, contact Lisbon Tower 118.105. Over to Tower 118.105, rolling 1982. Have a good evening.
All right, you can be quiet now. Let's wait for our GPU. So, landing lights retracted, taxi lights off.
Air Portugal 203 at ramp 600, a request pushback.
Passengers bus is
Air Portugal 203, a Lisbon ground, pushback approved. Face west. Pushback approved, face west, Air Portugal 203.
So we're cleaning up the aircraft, running our checklists. So Forgot to turn off the radar. Parking brakes, chocks set, engines are off, wing lights will be off in a moment. Off. Pumps are also off. Parking checklist complete. Alright, we can turn off our ATC, so let's go back, squawk standby. We're just waiting, still waiting for the GPU actually. Still no GPU. I might as well just call it.
Passengers deboarding started.
Cannot request GPU while boarding, deboarding. What? What's one thing has to do with the other? Well, let's just stay on our APU here, spending tax dollars. So the passengers...
Portugal 203, request taxi to the active.
It's nice to see the passengers deboarding.
203, runway 02 taxi via
How
Foxtrot,
are
uniform
our
1,
wheels? Are we still hot?
Alright, it will taxi to runway 02
Yep,
via
still
Foxtrot,
running hot.
Uniform 1, Mike 5 Air Portugal 203.
Here come the passengers.
Alpine 75 Whiskey Foxtrot, gate 124, request pushback and engine start.
Some of them are magicians, they go through other people.
Alpine 75 Whiskey Foxtrot, Lisbon ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face south.
Yeah,
Pushback approved, face south.
graphics are
Alpine 75
okay.
Whiskey Foxtrot.
The plane itself, I have better looking planes. I mean, to the naked eye, to the inexperienced eye, it looks okay, but this glare shield is weird. They should have designed this a little bit better. There's some textures here that are not that cool, like, what is this? Not sure what they're trying to do with this texture here. And yeah, there's some minor stuff all around, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But the textures aren't 100%. I mean, look at this. I mean, I'm very picky with this. This is all blurred. It could be a lot better. I can show you other planes where these textures are even more impressive. Let's hope.
Air Portugal 203, contact Lisbon
Let's
Tower
open the door here.
118.105. Contact Tower 118.105, Air Portugal 203.
Bye bye. Anyway, yeah, landing was harsh.
Transavia 5951,
Could have been better.
ramp 205 taxi via uniform 5, uniform 4, uniform
I'm not
3,
really used to this plane. It's
Lima 1, Lima 2, Mike 4, Zulu 1,
Let me just-
Zulu 2.
we no longer need a radio, so let's just tune in something else. All right. Yeah, the brakes are hot. That's why I have the fan running, boy. Yeah, it's still running hot. We need to keep them on for a while. No, I don't know, Serge. It's not like I'm going to make a living out of here or something, but to fly alone is to fly alone.
Passengers bus is
If I can share this with other people, maybe learn something, then fine. But doing it live and nobody's watching, it's a pointless in my point of view. So yeah, we'll see. Not a lot of people enjoy these. Oh, they're gonna crash. Boy, these guys, ground force guys, should all been fired. Yeah.
Passengers deboarding starting.
So anyway, thank you for watching. The landing bit was, well, the approach was okay-ish. I was a bit high at some point and I overcorrected a little bit. Touchdown was more or less okay. It was a bit heavy. But I need practice on this plane because it's fairly new to me. Controls are slightly different from other planes I fly in. I can show you. If you give me a moment, going back to the main menu. So yeah, anything Airbus really is quite easy to operate in the end of the at the end of the day. Yeah, please do, Sergio. It was a bit rough, but let me tell you, from what I'm watching in Lisbon with these kinds of crosswinds, it's quite heavy landing actually. And the problem there was that I was crabbing a little too much, and when I touched down, the plane veered to the left. I've also seen planes doing that in Lisbon, so it's so this is the plane I was flying, the FSLabs A321Neo, but I usually fly these. These are the Phoenix A321s CEOs. And the engines are a little less responsive and they lack thrust, instant thrust as much as the Neo does. And it's a different manufacturer. So this is Flightsim Labs and this is Phoenix. Another plane I usually fly is the A350, which is a heavy plane, so it's much bigger. So jumping between planes, it's not really advised because you lose your hand on these planes. If you have your hand on the A321 with sharklets like this one, it resembles the Neo, but it's not the Neo, and it's a different company. So the sensitivities and the aircraft's feeling is different. And if you jump to the 50, then the difference is even bigger. Especially with the performance. But in terms of technology, though, it's better to stick with Airbus. I used to fly the 330 as well, and I decided to give it up for the 50. And now I'm flying these Airbus family 319, 20, 21 with and without sharklets. I don't fly these engines, the IAE engines. I just fly the CFM. Anyway, thank you for watching once more. Hope to see you sometime. Don't know. We'll see. I need to get my courage back to carry on with these streams because it gives me a lot of hard work to prepare and then no one's watching. It's a bit sad. See you guys and thank you.